wanted to do the 50 random facts about me tag, as I've been on YouTube a while now, so I thought it would be nice for all of you guys who subscribe to me to get to know me a little bit better, and for anyone that is new to my channel, yeah, to get to know me a little bit better as well. I am originally from a county called Northumberland, which is near Newcastle, which means that I should have a Geordie accent, and my parents have a Geordie accent, but I don't. But I can do a Geordie accent, and a Geordie accent sounds like this. Hi, how you doing like? You alright? Aye, not bad. I think I have a pretty good Geordie accent. The reason I don't have a Geordie accent is because I was sent to boarding school when I was about 8 years old, and I used to get bullied for being the not posh one, and I was so sick of everyone wanting to go on, say something, that I put on a fake posh accent, and that has stuck with me all these years. I support Newcastle United because it's been drilled into me from a very young age. Toon, toon, black and white army, toon, toon, black and white army. When I was at first school, my dad made me dump my boyfriend because he made me support Manchester United, so my dad wouldn't let me back into the house until I promised him that I would break up with him and say I supported Newcastle again. So I will forever support Newcastle United, just in case I ever need to get back into my parents' house. When I was a teenager, I used to get mistaken for Donna Eyre, who is a TV presenter from Newcastle, and she was on MTV back in the day when I was younger. I have an older brother and a younger sister, which makes me the middle child. When I was a baby, I used to tip my food on my head. And that, for any babies watching, which they probably wouldn't be, but you never know, YouTube is getting younger, that is the best way for you to avoid eating the food that you don't want to eat, because they can't make you eat it if it's on your head. When I was 2 years old, I won the Bonnie Baby of Northumberland competition. I was a fat baby. I used to go to bed, and then my mum would hear me move around in the night, and one night she came in to find out what I was doing, and I was in bed, she pulled back the covers, and I was in my party dress, and when my mum asked me why I was in my party dress, I said it's because I would not be able to go to the ball because the prince wouldn't fall in love with me if I was in my pyjamas. And so that brings me on to my next fact. I have always been obsessed with Disney, and I still am. I used to be so obsessed with Hanson. Who are Hanson, you might ask? Well, they sing bop, da da ooh bop, do da bop do bop, hit the top bop do, yeah yeah. When I was about 8 or 9, I used to be so obsessed with him that I used to write them letters, because it was before Twitter, and then I would write the replies back to myself. Yep, that's right. Another person I was obsessed with was Aaron Carter. You know, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, his little brother. How did you know? 'Cause I never told. You found out I had a crush on you. You know, Aaron Carter. Well, a few months ago, Aaron Carter, blue tick, verified Aaron Carter, followed me on Twitter, and it was like I was 10 years old again. So I followed back, and then I got a DM from him being like, hey, you should come to my show, with a link for his tour. So I replied like, oh my god, yeah, Aaron, I would love to come to your show. When are you playing in London? And then I clicked on the link and realised he wasn't playing on London, and it wasn't a personal message from me. It was one of those auto follows you get, you know, when you follow someone and then you automatically get a DM. Yeah, so that was embarrassing. You might not believe me from my previous facts, but I am a grade 8 singer. I can sing any children's TV theme tune from back in the day, and I wasn't allowed to watch TV when I was little, so I don't know where I've learnt this, but it's quite remarkable talent. So I can sing Rosie and Jim, dragging along on the old rag doll. Rosie and Jim, and John who steers the boat. And now it's time for Noddy to go and say goodbye. He's tired and sleepy and nodding his head. He's ready to curl himself up to bed and see what tomorrow brings. So many. I'm gonna stop. That brings me on to my next fact, which is I can't dance. And people will be like, oh, you know, I bet you're not that bad. And then they see me and they're like, whoa. And then they walk away and they're like, awkward. I passed my driving licence on the 3rd time. And I passed it on Valentine's Day, and I might have written the driving instructor a Valentine's card. I have crashed my car 2 times, and once was really embarrassing because it was Christmas Eve and I was in Nottingham, which was where I was at university, and I crashed in the car park in Sainsbury's and I had to get towed back home for Christmas Day. Yeah, that was the best Christmas present I've ever given my mum and dad. I have a degree in English literature and French, therefore I can speak French. I have lived in Toulouse in the southwest of France, in Paris where I worked, and in La Réunion, which is Reunion Island. I don't know why I was trying to flirt with you with my French accent, but Reunion Island, which is in the Indian Ocean. My first job was as a chambermaid. I was a lifeguard. I once had to go upstairs to get some ice from the university bar because I worked at the university pool when someone had a nosebleed. So I ran upstairs to the bar, got some ice, brought it back down and gave it to them. I can't diet because I just think about food all the time. I'm a trained sushi chef. My favourite food is sushi. I love cold leftover food. So if you have a pizza in your house and you can't eat it all that night and you're gonna chuck it away, don't. Send it to me. Cold pizza in the morning, cold lasagna in the morning, cold pasta in the morning. I think it's Italian food. Cold Italian food. To have it the next morning, it is amazing. I grew up on a dairy farm. This is my dad and his cows. And despite growing up on a dairy farm, I am lactose intolerant. I once fell into the milk tanker when I was about 2, so basically where all the milk from the cows went to this big tank, and I tried to get the milk and I fell in. So maybe my lactose intolerance is because my body is traumatised from when I fell into the milk. It's like a Willy Wonka experience without the chocolate. I don't smoke and I never will smoke. I am a neat freak. Everything has to be organised in a particular order. Even my underwear drawer. My underwear drawer goes from black through into navies to blues, all the way through the colour range, right up until they get to white. That is my underwear drawer. I'm scared of spiders. I'm really scared of spiders, and the reason I'm scared of spiders is because when I was little, my sister was scared of spiders, and one night there was a spider in her room in the night, so she came into my room and asked if she could stay there because there was a spider in hers, and I said, no, get into your own room. And then the next night I woke up, and I'm not kidding, it was the biggest spider crawling across my face, and I flicked on the light and flicked off the spider and it was massive. So I ran into my sister's room to ask if I could stay in her room, and she said, don't think so, sister. Apart from she doesn't speak like that, she just said no. And ever since I have had a phobia of spiders. So my phobia of spiders, I believe, is karma for me not being a very nice sister when I was younger. At my boarding school, you used to have to do CCF, which is like a fake army, and I really didn't want to do it. I didn't want to put the cameo on and wear the camouflage and roll around in the dirt, so I faked a phobia of guns. When I was about 13, I used to be a goth. Yeah, I have photo evidence, which I will show you now. I started my first business at about the age of 7, and that was I would go and pick strawberries and sell them to the neighbour. Apart from the strawberries were from the neighbour's garden, and my parents found out and they shut my business down. But I thought it was quite entrepreneurial. Whenever I go watch something, whether it's comedy, theatre, anything on stage, and they say they need a volunteer, I am desperate to be chosen. I don't know what it is inside of me, but I want to be chosen. I think everybody else looks away and I'm like, me, and they never pick me, and as I'm getting older I feel like it's less acceptable to be doing that because they pick the cute kids, and it's basically me versus the 7-year-olds, like me, and I never get picked. My first boyfriend was called Ashley. I am way too empathetic. I cry if my friend is sad and they're crying, then I start crying. I cry during films, like all the time. Sometimes I'll be flicking through the TV and I'll end up in a documentary that I haven't even watched and it makes me cry. For example, I don't watch EastEnders, and I once cried on a documentary special about the life of Pat Butcher, who is a character in EastEnders, which is a English soap, and I start crying, and I'd only been on the channel for like 2 minutes and I have no emotional connection to this fictional character. I am a presenter, which you may or may not believe, depending on how good you think this video is. I am also a model, and I have agencies in London, Milan, Istanbul, and just today I've signed with an agency in Melbourne. Good eye, mate. Can one of my facts be that I'm really good at accents? Have I proved myself? Have I proved that I'm good at accents? Have I proved that I'm good at accents? I'll let you tell me what accent that was in the comments below, please. They are my 50 random facts, so I hope you learnt something about me, and I would love to know something about you guys, my lovely subscribers. So let me know one fact about you in the comments below. If you aren't a subscriber and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love it if you subscribe. It would mean so much to me. I'm sure I will see you back here very soon with another video, so for now I will see you soon. I've got so many pet hates.